shy. We just talked for like 30 minutes, but
I know.
now there's people watching, so it feels different.
As soon as the camera is on, I'm like shy. No, okay. I don't. My Mandarin is not
You
very
can
good.
try.
Oh my god.
Okay, we listen and we don't judge.
我叫 Rama，我25岁，我是印尼人。I'm Rama. I'm a content creator. I make content, like usually short form, about myself. I think a lot of my content is about navigating like your 20s, whether it's like through humor or like more sentimental content. Like it's all like I feel like it's an online journal about my 20s.
We met in Hong Kong at the Cathay Pacific event. To be honest, I've been following your content, so when I saw you, I was like,
I remember it was at the hotel lobby. I was like kind of nervous because I was like, I haven't met a lot of like creators because I've been like moving around a lot.
Yeah.
But then like actually like it was really good that you said hi immediately and then I felt a bit more comfortable. So like, I don't know if you noticed that the whole day like we were just like trying to sit next to you because I was telling Christina, I was like, let's sit next to them. They seem nice and friendly.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe I shouldn't get too close. I don't want to be too weird. Christina be chill. Christina be normal. And then I realized you live in Taipei.
Yeah.
And then I promised that we would become friends.
I think I promised first. Do you think I'm the same on camera and in person?
I think
Yes.
I think yes.
So is that a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think everyone has a bit of what they put out inside of them, but it's not them all the time. What you're seeing is like the 1% of who they are, and then like I would say like 99% of the time you're just like working, editing.
Whenever people talk about like content creators, they think it's just like a very creative job, but like most of the job is just admin. You know, it's just replying to emails, it's just writing your ideas, shooting, editing. It's not just like like pressing record and then the video is done.
Yeah. There's a lot of magic that happens after this. I think your videos are good though.
Yeah.
A lot of them I relate to. A little bit about your background as well.
So I was born and raised in Indonesia. I'm Chinese Indonesian. And then when I was 16, I moved to the US to go to university. After I worked in Europe, I lived in Germany first and then Spain for in total like almost 4 years. And then I've been in Taiwan for 7-8 months.
So you're like probably really good at languages. How many languages can you count to 10 in?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
When we met in Hong Kong, you mentioned that you went to Boston?
At the time in Indonesia, I was doing a lot of theater, and one of my friends from the theater company, she went to school to Boston. So then she told me, oh, why don't you consider Boston? I was like, oh, no, it's really nice, other than when it's cold, which is most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
I maybe got it wrong. Maybe hell wasn't hot, it's cold. So I did my last semester in LA. Like BU had an internship program in LA. A lot of film students did their last semester in hopes that like they'll just get hired by there, like
Hollywood. Did you want to continue doing film?
I quickly realized that I like the art of filmmaking, but it wasn't my life.
But you're kind of your own director now, right?
I am, yeah. I can justify.
Just in a different way, like different form.
Yes.
Not like 2-hour.
What do they call it? Like every film student like is a storyteller.
I'm a storyteller.
Me too. On LinkedIn, it's like storyteller first, human second. Yeah, but also like as an international student, obviously with the sponsorship and stuff, it was just like very hard to secure a job. Like even Americans who don't need sponsorship who work in the film industry, a lot of people are struggling to find a job. So when you need a sponsorship and like to enter the lottery, it was just like I thought I would not be able to do that. I didn't want to go back to Indonesia, so I decided to do my master's in Germany.
Ooh, you have a master's?
I don't. I dropped out.
Oh.
that was my parents' reaction. In Germany, like tuition was a lot cheaper. You could work off campus, so I could support myself financially. And I actually got a job in Spain, so then I just dropped out of my master's degree.
So you're doing social media for other people?
Yeah,
you're
for a
helping
company.
them run their page.
Exactly. I work in house for a gaming company.
And then you decided like maybe I should be the main character.
Exactly. I was like, why am I working to make the CEO richer?
I should make myself the CEO.
Yeah, because I wasn't enjoying the program. Like I studied business, and I'm not a business person. Like so.
But you kind of are now.
Yeah, I run my own empire. I only did this master's degree, so I didn't have to go home, and so I could get a job.
That's a good jump, though.
Yeah.
I mean, most people would think you're crazy, but I think in this day and age, it's actually a really smart jump.
I can always try to find an office job again, but like maybe this is the opportunity that I should take, to just trying to really jump in.
I heard that in Indonesia there was like this anti-Chinese movement. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but in the history there was like a time when the government was like, people here are not allowed to speak Chinese.
It mostly happened before I was born, like during the old order and new order. Like it was during like from the late 50s until late 90s, especially during our second president's era, like Suharto. Like, there was fear that like the Chinese Indonesians had ties to like the Communist Party, and then that's why a lot of like if you meet Chinese Indonesians, we usually don't speak any Chinese dialects. Whereas if you meet someone from Malaysia, like Chinese Malaysian, they would speak like some sort of like
different languages.
Exactly. There were laws that like banned Chinese people from having like Chinese last names, from speaking Chinese dialects, or like publicly celebrating like Chinese holidays. For example, my dad's last name is not the same as mine because I have my Chinese last name. So my Chinese last name is Lau, but my dad's last name is Lau Hatta. During that era, you have to like if you have a Chinese last name, you make it sound a bit more Indonesian. So there always have been like tensions between like Chinese Indonesian and Indonesian, because like Chinese people were seen as like the wealthy minority as well. But obviously the Indonesian population is so big, like there's 280 million of us. Chinese Indonesian only make up like what, like 10%? Less than 5% of the population in Indonesia. That's why I feel like also for me, it creates a bit of an identity crisis. When I was growing up in Indonesia, I remember I just wanted to be seen as Indonesian. I wanted to be accepted, you know, so I was just like, no, I'm not Chinese. Like I would deny my Chinese identity. I think culturally also I'm very Indonesian, I grew up there. But I think when I went to the US, that's when I started to realize that like being Chinese is not just like speaking the language, it's not just eating Chinese food every day, but also it's some of like the things like mindset that's been passed on like generation to generation. When I was in the US, obviously also sometimes people are just like think of you like, oh, you're Asian, you know, so I just feel like, oh, I started connecting more with my Asianness as opposed to just like being Indonesian. And I was like, yeah, in a lot of ways I am, you know, I feel quite Chinese as well. Moving abroad has allowed me to explore that identity a little more.
So what was the jump to Taiwan? Like how did that happen?
My best friend Virginia, she had done this like Chinese program in Taiwan in 2016 when she was a freshman in college. And she had always wanted to come back, so she just left her job as well in the US. So I was like, oh my god, why don't I just like come join you? Because she's my like best friend in Taiwan. Now we have this opportunity to like spend some months together that I don't know if we'll have in the future. I'm gonna sound so ignorant, like I did not know that much about Taiwan before.
That's not ignorant at all.
I know about hot pot like boba.
Okay.
You know, Din Tai Fung, obviously, and Jay Chow, love Jay Chow. Obviously, well, if I wasn't interested in Taiwan, I wouldn't have come. I also knew that like Taiwan was like the first place in Asia where like gay marriage was like legalized.
Yeah.
So to me, that's very important. You know,
Yeah.
I think like as a queer person, I wanted to like check out Taiwan because not a lot of countries in Asia. In fact, maybe like two. I think in Nepal, it's actually legal.
It is actually legal.
And this year in Thailand, so like.
Yeah, in Indonesia, it's like not.
Yeah, it's not legal. Being queer is not illegal in Indonesia, but there's not a lot of laws that protect. That's also why I've mentioned like, oh, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go.
Because you can be more of yourself, like. You know, it's more relaxing to just be yourself here.
Exactly.
What were your like first impressions of Taiwan when you first came here?
My only image of Taiwan also was Taipei, Ilingi.
Yeah.
So I thought it was gonna look like Singapore, but like also there's like a lot of like older buildings and stuff. But I love it because it's like I feel like it has that Southeast Asian charm. It's noisy.
The nice people.
You have like a working MRT and like the transfer is good, healthcare is good. I've been to like I went to Japan. I love it, but it's so different from home. It's so modern. It's so like you know. But I feel like when I'm in Taiwan, I feel like it's the best of both worlds. Like, and I feel like I spent so much time in the West, and obviously in Europe or in the US, like I experienced a lot of like microaggressions or like sometimes like racism like for being Asian. And then back home like homophobia. So like I feel like in Taiwan I look like everyone here. It's quite queer friendly, so I feel like actually I feel really comfortable here. I get to just exist.
I feel like I need to take a trip to Indonesia sometime then.
You should.
But it's also like one of the easiest places to get food steak.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Indonesia. My stomach is, you know.
I had bakso and I survived.
Bakso is my favorite food.
Bakso is so nice and it's spicy too. And then he dipped it in a bucket and then he put it back for the next person. And I was like,
that's the Indonesian style. It's worth the risk. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, like Indonesia say the dirtier the place, the better the taste.
Thank you guys for watching today's interview, and thank you Rama for making the time to walk 2 minutes from your house to this cafe.
And still be late. Yeah, also, just a reminder, if you don't like my answers, English is my second language. That simply was just because I couldn't express my intelligent thoughts. But if you like my answers, then I speak English very, very fluently. And like, I meant what I said.
please subscribe to this video.
Yes,
and
please subscribe to Christina.
subscribe to Rama to encourage him to start his first YouTube video as well.
I only need like 93,000 more, before I start my. It's an achievable goal by next week.
Okay, this is how like Mr. Beast posts stuff like to my future self. I see Rama. Okay.